Hey, I'm Johnny and I'm in 8th grade.
And I'm Jaden, and I am also in 8th grade.
Don't forget, the Logan Hope Christmas Spectacular Show will be debuting this Friday at 9 o'clock.
Our last day of school before Christmas break is this Friday.
Finally, we hope you are all enjoying Spirit Week. As a reminder, today is Animal Day, so don't forget to dress up like your favorite animal.
Tomorrow and Wednesday is Career Day, so dress up like the job you want to do as you get older.
Friday is Wacky Christmas Friday, so get decked out with all your crazy Christmas gear.
Now to Mr. Will with our Spirit Week score update.
Logan Hope. I want to give you guys a scores update as we go into our third day. So we have two categories, kindergarten through 4th grade and 5th grade through 8th grade. In our 5th through 8th grade category, the top two teams are in first place, 7th grade with 110 points. Woo! And in second place, 8th grade with 105 points. Man, it is a tight race, but don't worry, 5th and 6th grade, you are still in it. We can't wait to see what you guys are going to do for Animal Day today. And in our kindergarten through 4th grade category, in first place, we have 3rd grade with 160 points. And in second place, we have a 3-way tie. It's bananas. 2nd grade, 1st grade, 4th grade, you all have 130 points. It's good, shaping up to be a tight race at the finish here. So don't forget to dress up like your favorite animal today, Career Day tomorrow, and Wacky Christmas Day on Friday. Can't wait to see what you're going to do.
I want to look and hope, please bow down and pray. Dear Lord, I thank you for this day. I pray that everybody has a good day. And I pray that we are all doing good in school and nobody's failing. And I pray that people with corona will be healed. I pray that corona could end soon so we can go back to school. And one school is not there right now. In Jesus' name, amen.
Good morning. What is up, Logan Hope? It is great to have you guys here for chapel this morning. Well, we're glad to have you joining us with Spirit Week this week, and today I am excited for what you guys are dressed up for Career Day. I also wanted to get us excited and get us ready for tomorrow's Spirit Day, which is Animal Day. Animal Day is a new one for us this year, and get excited for it. You can really join in whatever kind of way you want to. If you want to bring an animal that you have around, if you want to celebrate with some stuffed animals or dressing as an animal, all those things would be great. All those things would be wonderful ways to take part in Animal Day for this year. I wanted to start off my chapel message with something a little bit animal themed, and I want to see how you guys can do in a little bit of a guessing game. So I actually have a series of old animal nicknames. Now follow with me here. These are nicknames. These are old names that people used to have for animals, sometimes before these animals really were given proper names. Before we really knew about all kinds of different animals. And so each of the names, I've picked some ones that have these kind of clues to them, and I want to see how you can do in following along here. So if you've got a guess, I'm going to give you a little bit of time, but go ahead and guess down below in the comments as you are guessing what these animals might be based off of their nicknames. So these are names that are not the actual names, but these were nicknames given to describe some of these animals. Guess down below. All right, our first one is a washing bear. A washing bear. Any guesses for this one? What animal was called a washing bear? Are you with me here? All right, this one was actually one that we can see a lot around here in Philadelphia. This is actually a raccoon. A raccoon was nicknamed a washing bear, and if you've ever seen a raccoon that lives by the water, a raccoon actually washes its food off before it eats it. And so I don't know if the city raccoons do that quite as much. But that was a nickname for it, the washing bear, even though it's not quite as big as a bear. Let me see if you can get this second one. The second nickname I've got for you is a Kerry Castle. A Kerry Castle. Now think this one through. This has a bit of a clue to it within there. You might want to think about an animal that is in its size similar to a castle, or what it looks like. This one might be easy for some of you just from that clue there. The carry part indicates that it could carry things. It's so big that it could carry even people on its back. This is an elephant. An elephant was nicknamed a Kerry Castle. All right, I've got two more for you here. See if you can try these out. This one, some of you might recognize this name from a book where this was borrowed from, but this goes back before that. I'm thinking of an animal that was nicknamed a Dumbledore. That's right, a Dumbledore. This name was later used by an author to describe a wizard in one of her books. But this was an actual nickname that used to exist for a certain animal. Any guesses on this one? So this one is, it almost sounds like the actual name that we have for it. A Dumbledore was a nickname for a bumblebee. How about that? The Dumble and the Bumble rhyme a little bit there. Last animal one I've got for you here is a monkey bear. A monkey bear. We already had a washing bear earlier, but can any of you guess what the monkey bear is a nickname for? I'll give a hint out there that this one can be found down in Australia, and the monkey part has to do with the climbing. The monkey bear was a nickname for the koala. We call that the koala bear. The koala used to be called a monkey bear. That was an old nickname for it. All of those have a way of describing a little bit about that. I've got another little segment here for you. I'm really excited for Animal Day tomorrow, if you can't tell. But there are actually even some people, some real people, who get nicknames related to certain animals. And these ones I found kind of interesting. Do you any of you remember Gabby Douglas? Gabby Douglas in previous Olympics was an excellent, phenomenal gymnast. And she had this way of tumbling and flying through the air and doing amazing things. Her nickname that she earned, this was an animal nickname, was the Flying Squirrel. Does anyone remember that? When Gabby Douglas was competing, the Flying Squirrel was the nickname that she got based off of the way that she would do her gymnastics and fly through the air. This one goes back before some of your time, but an old NBA player named Dennis Rodman. He played alongside with Michael Jordan back in the 90s. He was a real squirmy player. He really had a good way of squirming his way to get a ball or a rebound, or if the ball was loose. So he got a nickname, the Worm. That was his actual nickname. It's not a very flattering nickname, but that was the nickname for him. There's a baseball player on the Giants named Pablo Sandoval. Any of you guys know Pablo Sandoval? He has a nickname that I think some of you might get the connection to. His nickname is Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda, Pablo Sandoval. His is he's got a kind of a resemblance. He sort of got the same look as the cartoon character. And finally, there is a golfer, very famous golfer named Eldrick Woods. Do any of you know this one? His nickname is actually much, much more famous than his first name. Nobody knows him by Eldrick. But when he was young, he used to growl at the golf balls when he was playing. That might give you the clue there This one made me smile because Luke is growling at everything now. But Eldrick Woods, his nickname was Tiger. Everybody knows him as that nickname, Tiger Woods, and that went on to be famous. Nicknames got me thinking about a nickname of my own. I didn't really have an animal nickname, but back when I was in high school, I got a nickname at the lunch table, and that nickname came from the fact that when I would eat lunch, I would always take my time. I would eat it really slowly. I think we had around 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to eat our lunch. And I just wasn't in a rush. I didn't want to really eat my food really fast. I would have my carrots and pretzels and my sandwich. Not much has changed. And I would have that food, and I would just take my time with it, and that got me the nickname of Slow Sovacool. Slow Sovacool was the nickname that I got, and that nickname was all because of the speed at which I ate my lunch. And so that nickname had a connection to my actions and to who I was. So just like these animals had nicknames and these athletes had nicknames and I had my own nickname, all these things, they point to something in that some kind of reality with us, even though they're not exact matches. They point to and define us in some kind of way that they're earned. They're not random. Sometimes there are random nicknames, but these specific nicknames are ones that all relate to something. Now, in the Bible, in the book of Isaiah, there's a section that gets read a lot around Christmas time. There's a portion of Isaiah that I talked about a little bit in my last message, and that's from Isaiah 9:6. And I wanted to land there again. And we've talked about all these nicknames because Isaiah 9:6 talks about these specific names for Jesus, but they're not the actual name that we know him by, but these names work in the same way that some of these other nicknames do, where they actually they reflect something about who they are. And so Isaiah 9:6, if you've got Bibles, go ahead and turn there. You might even recognize this passage, maybe even have memorized part of it, but it reads like this. I'm gonna read it for us. Isaiah 9:6 says, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Now, we know this passage, part of what's special about it is that this was a passage that was written years and years before Jesus, but it was descriptive of Jesus. It was telling before he actually came what it would be, what the purpose of his coming would be. And so in here we have 4 different nicknames that are shared here, 4 different names that describe the whole reason of why this child is born to us. We see that he's going to be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. Those are the 4 different names that we have in here. Some of these jump out to us very significantly. One of them, in the middle there, Mighty God, shows that in Jesus' coming, he's not just coming to be great guy or cool dude or nice human, but this here is describing Jesus not just as a person that's coming, but a person that also embodies our mighty God. This is, like we talked about in the message of Emmanuel, this is God with us. And that's an amazing thing, that it's not just another guy to come along, another person to come along. You know, throughout history, we see some very special people, but they come and they go. And so we see something deeper here. We see the nickname Prince of Peace. Prince of Peace is an amazing one. That's a special one to talk about the purpose of someone coming to bring peace. That's very encouraging for a lot of us as we see that the world we live in is not always a peaceful one, and especially even just with our words, even without us looking at the actions of different people, the words that people use towards each other are not always peaceful, and so we see this passage talking about Jesus, Prince of Peace. He's not just someone who likes peace and like, yeah, that's cool, peace is good, but he would be incredible at being peaceful. He would rule over the peacefulness, and he would bring that about as the Prince of Peace. It makes me think of all the cheesesteak places around Philadelphia, where Pat's claims to be the king of steaks, and then you've got the other ones that claim to be the Prince of Steaks. I think it's like Steve's or Ray. I don't even know. But you all know what I'm talking about. You guys have seen these different things where people claim these titles like King and Prince to talk about how great they are. In this case, how great they are at cooking up beef and slathering it with processed cheese on a bun. But this is so much more even powerful than that. The Prince of Peace was another one. I want to talk a little bit more about some of these other two ones as well. Everlasting Father. Everlasting Father is a special one here, and it's one where I want to speak to all of you who, when I say the word Father, where there is a little bit of toughness with that, where the term of God being our Father feels like a hard one for you. That is the case when you know, for any of us, where our own dads haven't been that great for us, or where our own dads have let us down in any kind of way. That's a reality that many of us face, and in that makes it tough for us to embrace a God who would be a father, because we don't want someone else that's going to let us down if we feel let down from our own dads. And yet this phrase that goes with father is an interesting one. It's everlasting. That this title of everlasting Father goes not just to say that this is some dad that's going to be a letdown, but this is going to be a perfect father figure that can lead us and guide us and care for and protect us in the way that any of us would hope for in a parent and a father especially. But the term everlasting shows that this is not going to be here one day and gone the next. This is not going to be some kind of father that is there for us, but then when we need them is not, or is only shows up every now and then when he might need something. But that God, that in this is showing everlasting Father as a lasting thing, as something that's going to endure and something that's going to go on and on. And lastly, I want to talk about this nickname of Wonderful Counselor. If you didn't know, I think you probably do at this time, but the Bible wasn't written in the English language. And so this term Wonderful Counselor is captured by a couple different words. The term for wonderful is one that is this sense of beyond our words to describe. Can you think of anything that is like that for you? Something that is so wonderful that it's just beyond your words to be able to describe it. Some of you, I know, some of you have this experience with food. When you have that food that's just amazing, you're just like, it's beyond words. Like I can't even be describing this here. For some of you, that goes a little bit deeper than just food. For some of you, that might be if any of you have ever been out to the mountains. To me, this is something that is kind of this type of wonderful for me. Just seeing the mountains, seeing nature, and it really goes beyond my words to be able to describe what that could be like. And that word counselor is one that I don't think is really captured well in terms of the words that we that we have for this term of counselor. And we have counselors at the school who are people who help and talk through and sort through issues, and yet this term of counselor, as it's used in the Bible here, is talking about a counselor that goes further than just someone who would talk with you about a problem you might be having, but someone who would be delivering you from a problem, rescuing and being some kind of authoritative figure. This is not a weak counselor who can only just hear problems and say, "Oh, that's so tough. I'm sorry for you. Everything's going to be okay." If that's your image of what a counselor is, then put that away. Throw that away. This term of wonderful counselor is one where this description of Jesus is one that he is a rescuer. He's a deliverer, and he's able to do that because of the strong power and authority that he has. And as we look at the purpose of Jesus engaging with us, God engaging with us and showing us what it's like to engage with the world and with problems that might be in the world, we see a wonderful counselor, someone that's beyond our words to describe and able to do something beyond what we would be able to do or describe. And that gets at this purpose of what Jesus came to do, that he came not just to teach us well, but he came to actually deliver us, and to deliver us from the problem that we have, deliver us from the problem of our sinfulness, and to rescue us from that. That's something that is beyond our words to describe, that's so incredibly wonderful, because it's something we could never do on our own. You and I, with the way that we live our lives, we can get trapped by our sin. We can get caught up to the point where we don't know how to solve that. And I am so grateful this Christmas season that the gift that God gave to us was this wonderful counselor, mighty God, everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, that all of those nicknames wrapped up into one gift of a child that was given to us through Jesus at Christmas time. That is worth celebrating. That is worth rejoicing in. That is beyond our words to describe, and that's a really wonderful thing. Would you guys pray and give thanks to God with me? God, we thank you for this wonderful person that you have given to us in Jesus. We give thanks for that. And God, we give thanks most of all that through Jesus we can be delivered from the problem of our sin. Through you being with us, God, being here with us. We give thanks in Jesus' powerful name. Amen. Well, thank you guys for joining, and we are glad that you could be a part of Chapel today. Thanks for taking part in our Spirit Week and other things going on. Get ready for Animal Day. It's coming. I'm already ready for it, and I'm grateful for you all. God bless you guys. Take care.